So a little while ago, I got a question from a client, and he asked me, he said, Lloyd, why are Western women so masculine? Now, if you're a guy who's grown up in this world and you've gone to other countries, you've probably seen that there are a lot of societies where women act much more traditional than they do here in the States. And yes, the fact that women are more masculine in the United States is causing problems. There are a lot of issues that people have getting together here. They have a lot of things that, that needs to work on. But in general, I would say the things that worked years ago are still the things that work today. Nothing has changed in that regard. We are still the same human beings. But what is it about women that's making them more masculine? So we're going to talk about why women are more masculine in the Western world. We're going to talk about what you can do to solve the issues in dating that come with this. Because believe it or not, a lot of women are waking up to the fact that this is an issue. If you listen to female dating coaches, a lot of times they will talk about stepping into your feminine. This is something that women aren't used to doing. Because women are in the workforce, and if you actually look at the data, there are more women who are working than are men working, right? There's a lot more desk jobs that they can go to, and they do that. And they do a lot of work. And when they're working, work is generally seen as a masculine activity. And when you look at masculine and feminine, masculine is generally like very directional and it's moving towards a goal. And the feminine is not moving. It's not directional. It likes to play. It likes to have fun. It likes to enjoy its life. It likes to appreciate the things about it. It's not about winning. And in business and in work, a lot of times it's what you're trying to do. You're trying to accomplish your goal. You're trying to move ahead. So women spend all day in their masculine at work, and then they come on, they're swiping on their dating apps, and they're expected to turn into a feminine woman. But a lot of them don't know how. And they won't know how until a man who is truly masculine steps up and actually shows them how to do this. Now, the way that you do this is you show up as a very masculine guy yourself. So what I mean masculine is not bad despite what the media will try and tell you. Masculine is what women seek. A masculine man makes her feel feminine. And when a woman feels feminine, she is going to feel secure, happy, relaxed, girly, all the things that make women truly happy. So I'm going to share with you some insane statistics that are true, but mirror how important this is. So a lot of times when people think back to society in the 60s or the 50s or in that time period, they usually think that women, were very subservient to men. They had no rights. They were walked all over. And life was just generally extremely miserable if you were a woman who lived in the 50s and 60s. And it was great if you were a man. Now, if you actually look at it, most men weren't that wealthy. Most men didn't have access to a lot of things. They were working all day in factories and shit like that, going to war. Life wasn't great for the average guy either. But if you were a wealthy man, life was really great. Okay, it's kind of like how it is today. But the difference is women felt like they were not getting the same power and rights and all the things that they have today. If you actually look at the happiness statistics that have been taken for women since the 70s, they have actually gone down. The more rights women have gotten, the more power they have, the more they enter the workforce, and the more they do the things that men have done historically, the less happy they've gotten. Now, a lot of people are baffled as to how this could possibly be the case, but it's not that complicated when you look at what makes women happy. What makes women happy is the same thing that's been making women happy for years. Relationships. Good relationships make people, not just women in general, happy. And the breakdown of the male-female dynamics has hurt relationships in their modern world. Now, this is not to say that masculinity and femininity is completely gone. In fact, there is a resurgence happening, especially amongst women, where they now have the option to go into the workforce. They now have the option to be the breadwinner, but a lot of them are still continuing to pick men who they see as a masculine dominant figure in their life. This is not the only way that couples get together, but there does have to be some balance there. Now, if you're somebody who has never worked on this, who has never embraced his masculinity, you're going to find problems and challenges. So what I'm going to answer in today's video is why is it that it's so hard for most men to find that balance? First of all, you haven't been taught how to do it. Women from a very young age have been encouraged their whole life to become more masculine. Go to school, be a boss, make your own money. There's a lot of encouragement in school, in today's society, that talk about this issue. But if you look at where men's encouragement comes from, men have been not encouraged at all. In fact, they've been discouraged too. You cannot listen to what society tells you to do. You cannot listen to how school tells you to behave. If you think about how school, your parenting, and your upbringing has all taught you how to be a man, it has taught you how to follow directions. Now, typically, women, when they get into a relationship with somebody, especially in the bedroom context, they usually are the person who's going to be more submissive than the guy. They like the guy to take charge. They like the guy to initiate sex. They like the guy to ask them out on a date. They like the guy to initiate physical touch. Most of the time, it's the guy doing that. And typically, if you're the one who's doing that, then you're the person who's kind of like more dominant because you're saying when and where it's going to happen. This does not mean that women are not powerful. It just means that they prefer it when a guy is able to do this. The amount of women that I've dated that have been like, I'm usually a pretty masculine, dominant person, but with you, I feel really feminine. And they say it with a smile. They say it with a smile because being in their feminine is not all women, but most women, that's where they want to be. That's where they can relax. That's where they can walk down the street without having to second guess themselves all the time. This is exactly the thing that makes women satisfied and happy. And you've seen this with the data as time has gone on. As more independence, as less connection between men and women, as less masculine and feminine dynamics have happened, as women have become more masculine, they've gotten less happy. The way for women to achieve happiness in today's society is to learn how to balance their masculine and feminine energies. Yes, you can work all day at your job and be in your masculine, but in your relationship, step into your femininity. And the only way that women usually feel comfortable stepping into their femininity is if the man feels comfortable stepping up into their masculinity. So how do you work on this? The programming that we've had in a lot of society has been mostly us indoors, in the classroom, raising our hand, asking to go to the bathroom. These are all permission-seeking behaviors that are more submissive. We are answering to a boss all the time. That's how people learn. And if you do well in school, that means you followed the directions the best out of everybody. I was pretty good in school. I learned a lot about how to get the answers correct on a test. I wasn't the best at it, but I got pretty good at it. And it didn't help me at all do well in a lot of the social spheres that I was in. So what you need to do to become a more masculine man is this. Most men are disconnected from their core as a man. They are disconnected from it. They don't act on their desires. They constantly push what they actually want to say down. They're constantly worried about doing the right thing. Instead of asking yourself, what is the right thing to do? You ask yourself, what do I want? And you ask yourself that question more and more and more. And even if it's a small thing, you practice acting on it. Hey, I want to go up and take a look at the view. I've done that. There's been times where I've eaten with people and I'm just like, there's a great view over there. Hey, guys, I'm going to take a look at that view real quick. Do you guys want to come? I saw something, I wanted to do it, and I did it. It was a little thing. But at the moment, we were having a conversation. And so I waited for the conversation to, have a little bit of a lull. And I just said, hey, sorry to bother you guys about this, but this view looks amazing. Do you guys want to go check it out? And everybody got up and we checked it out and it was a great view. I led the group there and did it. Now, this sounds like a small, insignificant little thing, but there are a lot of guys who I see who literally do not have the ability to speak up for their wants and desires. And as a result, not only do they not get them, but they are missing a huge component of what makes them attractive to people. If you're a man who can reconnect with who you are at your essence, at your core, and it happens here within your gut, reconnecting from your wants and desires and making it translate into your head and actually make things happen, that is what's going to make you a more attractive guy. That's what's going to get a woman in her feminine. And why Western women are so masculine these days is because they're entering the workforce. There's a gap in the amount of men that are showing up as masculine, so they fill that gap. If you don't show up as the masculine guy in the relationship, guess what happens? What do you think she's going to start doing? She's going to start stepping up, yelling at you, getting on you for this sort of stuff, and she won't be happy about it. Women do not want to be in their masculine all the time when they're in the relationship. They might do it occasionally if you're busy with some shit or whatever, but most of the time when she's with you, she wants to feel like that. And most guys in today's day and age do not have the ability to make women feel that. And on top of that, women are used to being in their masculine more because they've been encouraged to be in it throughout their childhood, their young adult life, they've always been encouraged to do this. It's usually not until like later, once they kind of get out of that bubble, that they really start embracing it. They know how to do it. And when the guy doesn't step up, they naturally will do it. So what you need to learn how to do is step into that. And it starts by asking yourself, hey, what do I want more? Reconnecting with that core and acting on it. That's what I have to say about this, you guys. So it was a great question. I have more videos on this where I talk more about this stuff, but let me know if you want to see anything else. Good luck out there.